Today we actually have a lot of definitions to go over. And we'll be looking at angles in particular, and then special types of angles within that. So we look at objectives today. Like I said, we have a lot of different things we're going to be talking about. We're first going to learn how to label an angle. I said geometry is almost like it has its own special language and notation. That's one of the things we're going to practice there. I'm hoping you guys can already do the second objective. That's a grade school concept. Is this an acute angle, a right angle, or obtuse angle? So hopefully that's what you guys can already do. And then the third one there is something new for some of us, learning about vertical angles, adjacent angles, linear pairs, complementary and supplementary angles. And then we're going to use those properties in different types of problems. So one thing you guys will very quickly learn about geometry is it's always about, here's the definition. Now here's a ridiculous place where you say you're going to use it and you never will. But that's just kind of what it is. So it's more algebra integration into the problem. What I want you guys to know is all the different types of angles, how they're formed. That's what I want you guys to know. I also want you to remember those long term. Because this course, every lesson builds on the lesson before. And so and that's why, if you guys notice, I'm not really following the textbook at all. Notice you guys have not gotten any textbooks yet. If you are taking excellent notes, then we're good to go. Okay, I make sure that the notes and the lessons are directly aligned to help you guys be successful on the home. And so as long as you guys are going with that, we should be good. So first of all, let's learn how to name an angle. But what I want to hear from you guys first is, what is an angle? Anyone want to try to define that? All right, Chris, do me a favor. I want you to use your arms. I want you to form an angle. Okay. So what is an angle?
The intersection of two lines to raise their segments and it's measured by a degree.
Ooh, you just said it. You missed it. You just said it. It's not just any two lines or any two segments. It's the intersection of two rays. If you look up here, here's one ray, correct? Got an endpoint going up to infinity. There's another endpoint going up to infinity. But what do you notice about their endpoint? They're the same. Okay? That endpoint, by the way, is called the vertex. So if you want to define an angle, it's basically two rays with the same endpoint. And again, we call that endpoint the vertex. The rays of the angle are called the sides. So again, it's really important that you guys are able to remember that term vertex. And the vertex is going to be that corner of your angle. And we're going to use that term. I don't use fluffy language in the geometry class. So you guys have to know the definitions. We're going to use those all the way throughout the rest of the semester. Now when we name angles, we have three major ways that we name angles. So we're going to fill these in. Oops, too far. So when I look at number one, the first way, what is the name of my vertex? It's A. So a lot of times we can just refer to an angle based on nothing more than just its vertex alone. And that doesn't always work in our favor, but sometimes we can get away with that. And so we would call that, we had this special symbol for angles. Call that angle A. And that symbol almost looks like the less than symbol, except for that bottom side is flat. I know you guys have seen that before. I think you should have seen that symbol before. On number 2, what's inside the circle? A 1. So a lot of times on different worksheets or different types of problems, they'll be numbered. So we're between the 2 rays. And so we just call that angle 1. And then in most cases, what we're going to do is to clarify what the angle is without a shadow of doubt. We use a 3-point system. We would call this angle B, A, C. Now, what's really important is where do you notice the vertex is? It's in the middle. The vertex goes in the middle. And that's really important. And basically what you're really looking at, when you read this, it tells you everything you need to know. It's the angle formed when you go from B to A to C. That's the angle. So that's how you need to read those. So angle BAC. Now there's actually another name for this angle as well. How else would we name this angle, Chris?
Angle CAB.
Angle CAB. So the direction at which you name the angle doesn't really matter. The most important piece, though, is what? Vertex has to be in the middle. Okay, that's the most important piece. All right. Questions on naming angles before we move forward? I want you guys to fill in this page with what you know already. I want you to do 2 things. What are their measures? And I want you to draw me an example. What are their measures? And what are the examples? If you don't know it, leave it open, and we'll fill it in here in a minute. But I want you guys to fill in what you already know. Or give me at least one of those angles that you know. Okay, what's special about acutes?
It's less than 90 degrees.
So we are less than 90 degrees. Okay, what would an acute angle look like? Yeah, good. It looks like it's closing. Our acute angles look like they're closing. Is there a minimum value for an acute angle? Can we be a 0 degree acute?
No.
That would be a straight angle. So we have to be somewhere between 0 and 90. We'll put an X in there. So it has to be more than 0, but less than 90 in order to be acute. Bailey, give me another type of angle that you know.
The obtuse,
Okay, what do you know about obtuse?
over 90 but under 180.
All right, so we have to be over 90 and less than. Now you guys see that new symbol I threw in there. This is the Greek symbol theta. A lot of times when we talk about angles, it's referred to as theta instead of x. Okay, so I want you to be able to go back and forth between those. All theta means is just another variable, just another symbol, and all it means is the angle measured. So Bailey, what would an obtuse angle look like? Perfect. So these ones look like they're opening up. Kristen, give me another one.
Straight angle
Okay, what do you know about a straight angle?
is a line and it's 0 degrees.
It is a line. And it's actually 2 values. It could either be 0 degrees or 180 degrees. So it could be both. Where's the vertex for a straight line? If it's a straight angle, where's your vertex? You see it's right there. Okay, so it's just somewhere on there. Now, a lot of times, we'll talk about this maybe on the next page. This is often referred to as opposite rays. You might want to make a note of that. Okay, when we say opposite rays, clear you can see why we call them opposite. One's going in this direction, and then the other one's going in the opposite direction. So we call those opposite rays. That makes it a straight angle. Get that down, Sarah?
I already have these notes.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, Nick, give me one more.
A right angle
Okay,
is 90 degrees.
right angle, 90 degrees. I jumped ahead of you there. Is there a special symbol we use for right angle?
Like in the corner of the block.
Very good. Usually has a little box or a square down in the corner.